What makes someone truly admired in America? Is it their bold personality, their ability to lead, or the way they connect with people? Palin and Dana Perino have captivated millions in their unique ways, but who really stands out as America's favorite? Stick around, and by the end of this video, you'll have a clear picture of what sets these two women apart, and maybe even decide for yourself who takes the crown. Here's the twist: we're not just looking at their achievements. We'll uncover what makes them resonate with completely different audiences, why some people admire Palin's unapologetic energy, and others are drawn to Perino's calm expertise. If you've ever been curious about how public figures win hearts and minds, you'll want to stay till the very last second. There's a surprising insight waiting at the end that might just change how you think about leadership and popularity. Let's get started by breaking down what makes Palin the unforgettable maverick she is. Her story might just surprise you. When Palin burst onto the national stage in 2008, she was unlike anything people had seen before. A small-town mayor turned governor of Alaska, she brought a unique energy and style that immediately captured attention. Whether you loved her or disagreed with her, one thing was certain: Palin knew how to stand out. Her vice presidential candidacy alongside John McCain made headlines not just for her bold speeches, but for her ability to connect with everyday Americans. She wasn't afraid to challenge the status quo, and that's what many found so refreshing. Palin's charm wasn't about polished perfection. It was her raw, no-holds-barred approach that drew people in. She spoke in a way that made her seem like someone you'd meet at the grocery store. Yet she had the audacity to take on Washington elites. But here's the catch: her fiery style wasn't for everyone. While some saw her as a voice of the people, others criticized her for being polarizing. And yet, even with the mixed reactions, Palin maintained a level of influence that many politicians can only dream of. From reality TV appearances to best-selling books, she showed that her appeal extended far beyond politics. Why do so many still resonate with Palin's unapologetic persona? That's the question we'll answer as we dig further into what makes Dana Perino's contrasting style so compelling. If Palin represents boldness, Perino might just represent something entirely different and equally powerful. Let's see how Dana Perino's quieter strength wins over her audience in ways you might not expect. If Palin is the storm, Dana Perino is the calm that follows. Her rise to prominence may not have been as flashy, but it's every bit as impressive. As the White House press secretary under President George W. Bush, Perino held one of the most high-pressure jobs in American politics, and she did it with remarkable grace. What sets Perino apart is her ability to command respect without raising her voice. She's proof that leadership doesn't have to be loud to be effective. During her time at the White House, she navigated tough questions and intense situations with poise, earning admiration from allies and critics alike. This earned her a reputation for being professional, steady, and relatable, qualities that carried over seamlessly when she transitioned into her media career. As a co-host on political talk shows, Perino became a trusted voice, someone who could break down complex issues without the drama. She connects with her audience in a way that feels genuine, approachable, and insightful. Her style isn't about grandstanding or confrontation, it's about finding common ground and making people feel heard. But there's an interesting twist. While Perino's calm demeanor is widely admired, some argue it lacks the fiery passion that makes figures like Palin so memorable. Does quiet confidence win over more hearts, or do people crave the boldness that Palin embodies? This brings us to the heart of the debate. As we compare these two powerful women, one thing becomes clear: their differences reflect the diverse ways Americans define leadership. Up next, we'll dive into the key comparisons that could help you decide who resonates more with you. Stay tuned, because the contrast might surprise you. Now that we've seen what makes Palin and Dana Perino stand out individually, let's put their qualities side by side. These two women represent two very different approaches to influence and leadership, and that's what makes this comparison so fascinating. On one side, you have Palin, the unapologetic trailblazer who thrives on shaking things up. Her fiery speeches and fearless approach make her a magnet for those who admire bold, direct leadership. Palin doesn't shy away from controversy, she embraces it, using it to energize her supporters and make headlines. She's the type of figure who thrives on passion, leaving a lasting impression whether you agree with her or not. On the other side, there's Dana Perino, the steady diplomat who builds trust over time. Her approach is less about grabbing the spotlight and more about offering clarity and calm in the chaos. People look to Perino for thoughtful analysis and reasoned arguments. She's the type of leader who makes you feel secure, like someone who has everything under control, even when the world feels unpredictable. But here's the big question: which approach do Americans resonate with more? Is it Palin's charisma and raw energy, Or is it Perino's understated confidence? While Palin rallies crowds with her boldness, Perino wins over skeptics with her consistency. These contrasting styles highlight a divide in what people value most in their public figures: passion or precision, boldness or balance. The truth is, both women have carved out unique places in the public eye, and their appeal depends on what you're looking for. But what if their strengths were combined? Could there ever be a leader who embodies the best of both worlds? That's something worth thinking about as we move to the final part of the video. Next, we'll explore why public opinion is so divided and what makes someone a true favorite in the eyes of Americans. The answer might not be as straightforward as you think. Why do Americans love some public figures and criticize others? The answer lies in what people value most, and this is where opinions about Sarah Palin and Dana Perino truly split. For Palin's supporters, it's her unfiltered honesty and boldness that make her a standout. They see her as someone who speaks directly to the frustrations of everyday Americans. Whether it's her outspoken critiques of the political establishment or her willingness to tackle tough topics, Palin represents a fight against what some see as a detached, elite system. People who admire her aren't just fans, they're loyal advocates of her unrelenting spirit. On the other hand, Perino's admirers often value her thoughtful and composed approach. She's the voice of reason in a noisy world, someone who listens before she speaks. Her ability to stay cool under pressure makes her a trusted figure, especially among those who are tired of polarizing rhetoric. Perino's style appeals to those who believe in diplomacy over confrontation, preferring a steady hand to guide conversations. But here's the twist. Popularity isn't just about charisma or calmness. It's about timing too. Palin's fiery personality might be the perfect fit during moments of political upheaval, while Perino's steady demeanor shines in times of uncertainty. What makes someone a favorite often depends on the cultural mood of the moment. Still, the debate rages on. Who represents the ideal kind of influence in modern America? Is it Palin's fearless energy, or is it Perino's quiet authority? Or maybe the truth is more nuanced. Both women reflect different facets of what Americans admire most in leadership. As we approach the final part of the video, we'll look back at their unique qualities and leave you with one last thought to consider. You might be surprised at what really defines a public favorite. Sarah Palin and Dana Perino both represent something extraordinary. Palin's boldness and willingness to stir the pot appeal to those who love leaders, unafraid to challenge the status quo. Meanwhile, Perino's calm, composed style connects with people looking for clarity and reassurance in a chaotic world. But here's the real takeaway. What makes someone America's favorite isn't just about their personality, it's about how they make us feel. Palin's fire sparks passion, while Perino's calm builds trust. These two women show that there's no one-size-fits-all definition of leadership. Instead, they remind us of the power of diversity in how we approach influence and connection. Now it's your turn to weigh in. Who do you think better captures America's Palin or Perino? Or do you think there's room for both styles to coexist? Share your thoughts in the comments, because the answer to this debate is far more interesting when it comes from you. And here's a little bonus for sticking with us until the end. Think about this. What if you could combine Palin's passion with Perino's precision? What would that leader look like? And how might they change the way we view influence? It's a question worth reflecting on, and we'd love to hear your ideas.